Welcome and welcome back, S.WigginsTV. It's Worldwide Wiggins, man. We doubling back with the Liggett Street Bloods. Shout out to my boy Big Rock for doing that thing for me, man. I appreciate you coming on the show, man. You kept it 100 with me, bro. We doubling back. We got an older homie from Liggett. He finna give us some history, some in-depth history, man. You know what I'm saying? So let's get it in, man. Baby bad
All
news.
right.
Liggett Street Bloods. What's the deal, bro?
There ain't too much going on, Wiggins. I'm just chilling, man, trying to maintain.
Oh, yeah,
You know
man.
what I'm saying?
Now you've been seeing what's going on, man. Everybody going crazy. Back and forth about the
Yeah,
same.
I've been seeing what's going on. It been a couple of things that wasn't put out there correctly. You know what I mean? Like the whoever that was I got on that said he was from the set. That ain't no rock. You know what I mean? And I'm saying that because Big Rock wouldn't got on there and said that he was. Saying the things that you saying. My bad. Saying some of the stuff that he was saying. So, because a lot of that stuff was inaccurate.
Okay.
So it's a lot that's been going on. A lot of that stuff just wasn't done correctly. And I feel like a lot of things that people been on here saying is they trying to like downplay my section, and I ain't feeling it.
Right. But me and you know what I'm saying, we been supposed to do this, even before this interview, but I know you had, your own thing going on, but yeah, man, I'm happy to have you, and we gonna get to the bottom of everything.
Oh yeah, for sure. We can go ahead and get to it, man.
So
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
the thing is, right? I've been hearing that there's cliques within Liggett that don't get along, and that's in every hood. But
All right. I'm okay. Well, that definitely be disagreements with different blocks and, like you say, different cliques in every hood. But when in my gang, it ain't no beef between no other blocks and other cliques. It ain't none. We didn't probably have scrimmages. Probably been that done got mad and squabbled up just like every other gang. You feel me? So it been like that happening, but it ain't no beef going on because ain't nobody out here shooting at each other. Ain't nobody getting shot or getting killed or none of that. Now that's beef. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And
no, I
ain't
feel
none of that going on. We didn't have disagreements. You know
oh,
what I mean? But I'm from every block, so it don't even matter to me. I'm not one that be like, oh, I'm just from this block, from all of them. That shit don't fly with me. You can't be around me talking about this block and I'm not with it. It's Liggett Street, LS,
right.
and that's how I always push.
So tell me one thing that you heard on the last Liggett interview. That's
Well, I be listening to all your stuff, man. You be doing some good interviews, and I'm glad that you shine a light on people that's out the valley. You feel me? Giving us some shine because I feel like dudes out the valley don't get they just due. You feel me? Because it really be going down out here, and people we been doing it. You feel me? Before even people pick the blood or crip side, we been getting to it. So
right.
I just feel like the interview that you did with the WHITSETT, specifically the ones that you did with the boy KP on there, I just don't like how him and his other homies is on there act like they trying to downplay the set. You feel what I'm saying?
For sure.
That's the one that I kind of like, I just really disagree with a lot of things that were said. Because if we're really not like that, then we wouldn't have been warned for over 30 years. You wouldn't have your homies over there with L's crossed out if we wasn't really no, you know what I'm saying, qualified enemigo. So that to me that doesn't make sense. I'm not whacking nobody out on my body if they're not really active like that. And they can't say, oh, we don't have no homies with that. That's a lie because I'd have been in the pen with these dudes in the county and it didn't been problems. So that's a lie, you know what I mean? So that's the part that I have a problem with, and it's just certain things that was said how he went over there like he ran through the homies and that's how the beef started. Come on, bro, kill it. One thing my homies is known for is fighting. That's what my homies do. Even the dudes that come before me, that's what they do. We got all athletes over here, basketball, football players. This is what dudes do. We squabble up. I don't see you running through 2 or 3 Liggett streets and getting your big homie like, come on, bro, kill it, bro. That ain't how that happens. We've been warring with y'all for over 30 years, bro. Just like we can't stand them. Them is our first real enemigos for real, for real. We wasn't really having no war with dudes like that until we started beefing with them. So
Okay.
we got turned up when we started beefing with them because they really was a little bit older than my homies, than my older homies. My older homies really was kids.
Oh, really?
Yeah, my older dudes that I consider my G homies at that time when that beef kicked off, my homies really was kids.
Okay.
So that's why the beef with them was just so cause like we really got a beef now, like this is a real beef. And you gotta think that their section is not close to our section. Paramount City and North Hollywood ain't close. It ain't them hoods. Our hoods is not like how in LA is where everybody on top of each other or Compton or something. We really gotta travel to go holler at the dudes we beef with. The only other black gang in our section is the E-Dubs, the Hillside E-Dubs. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm saying. Like some of that stuff, I feel like it's just inaccurate and it didn't sit right with me.
Can I ask you why you guys adopted green at one point?
No, the homies came up with that. They all, you know what I'm saying, they came and had a little circle table about that. They came together. I'm gonna name a few dudes out there. They might be mad I put their names on it, but these dudes, they deserve their flowers because they was there when people decided to make this color. Big Sip, Lil Sip, Domino, Big No Name, Little No Name, who else? Because there's a gang of people. Might be something I might miss. Big Insane, Big Problems, Big Rock. Who else? Big Too Good. Big Lulu. Them a few. I'm missing a lot. I know it was more than that, but them just a few dudes that I'm coming with off because I'll be here all day naming everybody. You know what I'm saying? But them a few dudes that had a big part in what this is today.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Booney, throw him out there. He won too.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It's a lot. It's a lot of homies that L-Bone. It's a lot of homies that had something to do with why we wear green and got this push today the way we do.
Okay.
And the homies established this. Liggett Street was established about the late 80s, 88, 89. And you know, didn't nobody pick a side. You know, you had that probably because you know everybody that moved out there from LA, Compton and all that with everything. So you already had some people already with certain ties. Some people came down there with some Keyway ties from certain sections or some Damu ties from certain sections. You know what I mean? So it was already there. These just a boot. This is that you got to think. These are all kids. You know what I'm saying? That moved basically all on the same block in the same area, going to these same schools. So they really just befriended each other, and they came up with this Liggett Street thing. Like this gonna be something we make it for us.
Okay.
And then over time, it just evolved to where now we picking the side where we don't be Bloods or Crips. But early and then the homies already having run-ins with like Front Street. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So the homies done bumped heads with Front Street even when we were just wearing green.
Okay.
The dudes that I guess you can say they was the Valley Front Street.
So after WHITSETT in present day or in recent years,
Yeah.
who would you say is that next best enemy?
Well, out there we can, because that always was it was just so up with them. And then you already know the homies that in the beginning stages before we even was beefing with the WHITSETTs, we was allies, like Tiny said, with the Dead End Posse. You know what I'm saying? We was cool with the Dead End Posse. Like, them with the same homies. But at this time, you gotta know that the Dead End Posse was beefing with the WHITSETTs at this time, and we weren't. A lot of homies didn't even know what WHITSETT was at this time. Cause this is the early years. You know what I mean?
Right.
So we didn't know. So to me, the best as far as my generation, that's the best thing I could say. That besides the WHITSETT and the Black Gang would be the GSCs. So and we started with the GSCs. I'd say probably like 96, 97.
Oh. Right.
When the incident happened with the WHITSETTs, that had to be like about 94. You know what I'm saying? And the GSC, we started beefing with them because they was in Panorama City. So then the homie Lucky, he the one who kind of like kicked that beef off with them. So now we started warring with them.
Now, what about the YNCs, Young Neighborhoods?
Bro, I'm not sitting here trying to discredit nobody or nothing, but I ain't never ran into a YNC in my life.
Okay, all right. So
yeah, I don't know nothing about the YNCs.
Backtracking to your homie's interview, man, what was some of the things he said that kind of disagree.
Everything was incorrect. He said a lot. Now, don't get me wrong. There was some pieces in there that was correct, but he made a lot of inaccurate statements. I feel like, far as Liggett Street. Liggett Street wasn't no Bloods in the early '80s. Liggett Street ain't never beef with no Valley Kitchen, because I've been living in the Valley my whole life. Valley Kitchen, they didn't really have no strong run out there for no long period of time. By the early '90s, you wasn't really hearing about. I say about '95, you wasn't even hearing about no Valley Kitchens no more.
So wait.
That was inaccurate right there.
Wait. Let's get back to that. So officially, what year did y'all put the B on it?
This is how I view it. Officially, we started becoming Bloods in 2003, and I had to give the homies this credit of us even becoming Bloods, because we didn't really get no outside. I don't feel like we had no outside influence by another Blood gang that make us become Bloods. To me, the influence came from these the three people that called the phone. I'm over at the house with me, my homie Tiny Bad News, and my homegirl Peso. We all over there, we kicking it. They called Peso phone. It's the homie Low B, the homie Lil Bad News, and it was a homie from E-Dub on the phone. All three of these is in the county jail at this time. So they called the phone. They like, this is Bloods. This is what we own. This is what we doing. The homies need to get on this. You feel me? We picking aside this Bloods. This what we pushing. You feel what I'm saying? This what the homies came with while they were sitting in the county jail. They felt like they needed to pick a side, so this is what they chose. They like, we Bloods. So this what it is. And then you had an older homie, which I say Big Rock. He the one who made it like officially on the street, that made it this is what it is. Where he snatched up a gang of young homies like, bro, this is what we pushing, this Bloods, and this is what it is. Everybody, this is what it is. There ain't gonna be no nigga talk about they a Crip from Liggett Street, none of that. We Bloods.
Okay.
You feel me? So I had to say 2003.
Is there a Liggett in any other place like Vegas or Palmdale or?
I say, yeah, I got a lot of homies like Palmdale, Lancaster type areas, but basically everybody in the Valley in Palmdale, Lancaster. Every gang that's from the Valley.
Oh, okay. Because I was hearing it's WHITSETT out there, so don't tell me y'all going back and forth out there too.
It's all kind of. It's WHITSETT out there. It's OVGCs out there. It's the Karma Pyru's out there. It's, you know what I'm saying? Gang is out there.
Okay, but
yeah.
we discussed the year y'all put the B on it. But what year did the Liggett Street?
That happened 2003.
Right. But what year did the Liggett Street start? Like before the B?
Oh, before the B, the Liggett Street started in the late 80s, like 88, 89. That's when Liggett Street started. Before it was Liggett Street, it was just Fillmore Block. And then the homies came together and made it Liggett Street, and then they also picked the color. You know what I'm saying? Because that's where everything started, right there on Fillmore Block, which is right across the street from Liggett Street Elementary.
Okay. And how did y'all beef start with East Coast? Because I did see y'all whacking them out.
Well, that came later on down the line. You know what I'm saying? Once the homies actually picked the side of being Bloods, you know what I mean? And then the homies just had an incident up there on the hill with them dudes. You feel me? And you know what I'm saying? A lot of I ain't gonna talk too much, but some things went on, so that kicked it off right there.
Right. Have you guys ever hit the county and got into it with any other coasts? Because you know them coasts stick together.
Of course, my little homie Stone just came through there. He was getting, you know what I'm saying? He was getting locked up by the East Coast. He was squabbling. Little Mexican dude. So, you know what I'm saying? Camp, county jail, prison. I did 11 years in prison. I know.
For sure. Okay. The number one thing, you know, like I told Rock, all right, the number one thing people were saying is that Liggett, you know, is non-existent, or, you know, they just not outside. You know, can you clarify that? Is it gentrification?
Like yeah, how they saying that? I don't know how they ever could say that we're not existent, because one, we always been a small gang. been no big gang. To this day, we probably a little deeper now, but we still ain't no big gang. You know what I mean? So it's like I don't understand how they could say we're non-existent when we still be out there. When we didn't went over there through Valley Plaza, and we didn't been pressing them. And they talk about, oh, the cousin, he was so lost, he thinking he so something. He talk about, well, KP my relatives. KP. If a gang is non-existent, then we not even about to acknowledge them. They non-existent.
I understand what you're saying. I've been hearing you guys have a close relationship.
That's just how I feel. You feel me? But you still live in the valley. I don't live in the valley. You know what I'm saying? But I be in the valley on a regular. My grandma has a house in the valley, in my section.
Oh, really? Oh, so you guys
Really?
you guys still have family out there?
I do.
Oh, okay, for sure.
You know what I mean? So it's like you. That's what I said. Like you, man, come on, bro. And I'm a real valley kid. Like all I know is the valley. I didn't start exploring everywhere else until I became of age, like an adult. You know what I mean? All I know is the valley. I don't know nothing else.
Sure.
All the schools I went to is valley schools. Every time I caught a case, it was in the valley. It wasn't nowhere else. I go to Van Nuys and Seffinella Court every time.
All right. So I asked them about the E-dubs. Like, did you?
Them is the homies.
So yeah. So did
The homies in Panama City and the homies in Pacoima. Them the homies.
Did it come from the Red Rack thing, or what? Did you guys have a relationship?
Them was the homies before anybody even picked a side. When we was wearing green, and they well, we still wear green, they still wear gray, but before we even became bloods, them was the homies. You know what I mean? That's how we can coexist basically in the same area. Because we you know what I'm saying, we all share Panorama. You know what I'm saying? We in the same area. Them is the homies because we went to school with them. You know what I'm saying? We didn't grow up with these dudes. You got some people that some of my homies is related to them, vice versa. You know how it goes.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Yeah, them is the homies.
And how about the Inglewood families? Because I was hearing that you guys even go to Non-Dudes Day.
Well, I got a couple of homies that got connection with them over there. You know what I'm saying? That's real cool with the families.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying? That's what that is.
Is there any other misconceptions that you heard about Liggett that maybe on the internet or something you heard somebody say that's, you feel me, that's out, you want to clarify?
Okay, I'm about to clarify one thing I heard, like the witches don't be running into the homies and the homies don't be doing their business. You feel me? That's a misconception that I definitely heard. And I didn't hear them in recent interviews. And that's what even made me even get on here, because I don't like the way my homies been like they trying to downplay my homies. That made me feel some type of way. Even though I know it's not the truth, but I know if a person keeps saying something long enough, people start believing that's the truth. Right. So somebody had to come on here and really speak up. So that's definitely a misconception. And another misconception, like Liggett Streets is not in the valley no more, or they're not in their section no more. That's a misconception.
For sure.
Because if we really have our turf is a decent size. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, because we coexist basically with two gangs. One black gang and a Latino gang. The Latino gang is basically the Blight Street. And that's another misconception. We don't even beef with the Blight Street. It has been scrimmages with them, but it ain't never turned into no war. Because at the end of the day, we know we live in the same buildings. You feel me? That would have been a real ugly war.
So you being older, you've been around. You know what I'm saying? Damo. We need that story, man. We need a story, not incriminating no bodies, but you know what I'm saying, something real, man. Give them something hot, man. They let them know what's cracking in the valley, man. They think it's a gang. Something you done been through.
Well, it definitely ain't a gang. Well, it's a lot of stories, but I'm trying not to be too incriminating.
Exactly.
I'll say the Fallbrook Mall. Fallbrook Mall. We got into it with the witches up in there. If you know, you know. It was only me and two of my other homies, and we had our. We wearing green and all that. So.
What happened, man? What happened? What happened? No.
They was there. If they was there, they know. The real ones, no, I'm 41. So if you in my generation, you know, because the niggas dudes out, everybody know who really was outside. You feel me? So if you really was outside, you know, the Smallville Mall.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So it was only two of me and my other homies, and they got up out of there.
Oh, damn.
You feel me? So I'll leave it like that. I'm solid. Win, lose, or draw, because I didn't got caught slipping. You feel me? They didn't pack me out before.
Okay.
You feel me? So I'm not about to sit here and act like I've been exempt. Like, oh, they ain't been. That's why they enemigos, because they didn't pack me out before. We didn't have some stuff that went down with them. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to be here and discredit nobody. That's what make game banging fun, is having, you know what I'm saying, some rivals that's with it.
Right. Facts. Facts.
You feel me? So I'm not about to discredit. They didn't call me slipping, and the ones that called me slipping was my basically to say they in my age group. They, you know what I'm saying? So they my peers. So you know that's how that went. They got me.
All right. So when you went to the, like, okay, since you guys put the B on it in '03, you know,
Yeah.
have you ever, like, you know, ran into people in the county or maybe in the LA area, and they've been like, okay, you guys put the B on it in '03, or I ain't never heard of your hood. Like, who's some of the hoods you was running?
Now, but you know what? I'm one of the people that been through the system, like juvenile hall, camp. You know what I'm saying? All that. So I'm already got a little chip on my shoulder because I didn't heard that before. Like, oh, where that set or what's that? You feel me? So of course I didn't got in the fights for that kind of stuff. You feel me? Because now you're trying to downplay me or try to feel like you better than me because you're from the gang that's been existing longer than mine. You know what I mean? So yeah, I didn't run into that before. I didn't run into that in prison. You know what I'm saying? Basically let a person know, like, this is where it's at, and had to let them know.
But you know what's funny, bro? All of the Crips. It's funny that you said you guys put the B on it in '03, because all of the Crips, OVG, WHITSETT, all of the hoods say Liggett Street was one of their top enemies, but you guys put the B on it in '03. So
Right.
you probably,
Okay.
it's and these are Crip hoods. So I don't know. Maybe I'm not understanding it, but it seemed like you guys
No,
was.
see, because
Go ahead.
what you trying to say? Hold on, go ahead so I can understand what you're saying, Wiggins.
So it's like you guys were beefing with what was it? Well, you had run-ins with the Kitchens and the Front
Well,
Streets.
but that was early in the day. Like
Yeah.
the kitchens, the Valley Kitchen. That was kind of like I said before. The Valley Kitchens probably ain't been relevant. I mean, since like 94, 95.
Right. And the
You
Front
know what I
Streets.
mean? And they not probably been relevant since then. Like, so that I wouldn't even call them like we had a beef or nothing with them. You know what I'm saying? And the Front Street, like the homies had a little lightweight, you know what I'm saying, some little incidents with them. You feel me? But that kind of where it stopped at, and that happened before the homies even put the B on it. You know what I'm saying? That happened when the Front Street, like, it was really Valley Front Streets outside, like when they had a heavy presence in the Valley. They don't really have no heavy presence in the Valley like that today. You know what I mean? You might run into a few here and there, but they presence ain't felt out there like that no more.
So
All the Valley Crips that you hear about now is like Valley Crip gangs that was established actually in that, you know what I'm saying, that homegrown Valley gangs. I mean, homegrown Crip gangs in the Valley.
Yeah. So, lastly, do you think that since you guys then, you know, been bumping heads with Crips, that's what kind of made you say, you know what, fuck it, we gonna put the B on it?
I think for a lot of people that probably was an easy call. You feel me? Because how you said it like that, a lot of people did look at it like that, like this what it is. But also I did have a lot of homies that already had ties to, like, you know what I'm saying, the blood side. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that did make it easy for people even that was stuck in the middle, like, should what, you know what I'm saying? This Liggett Street gangsters, I'm the green rag. Feel me? So that did make kind of easy where all these did pick a side. They all Crips. You feel me? And I can't program with these dudes.
For sure.
So that definitely made it easier.
I feel it. Oh. One more. I know you from the West
Yeah.
Side. So,
Yeah.
What about the Bloodstone Village? You ever had any alliance or, ran into them?
Bloodstone villains. Yeah, I done ran to a few Bloodstone villains. I did time, Wiggins. Like I said, I done ran to some Bloodstone villains for sure.
Now,
For sure.
the ones in North Hollywood, though.
In North Hollywood.
Yeah.
Now, look, I heard. Look. This is what I'm about to say, Wiggins. Look, I done heard about a lot of things, like a lot of blood, but I never knew that Bloodstone villains had established a gang in North Hollywood.
Okay.
I didn't know that. Now it used to be Bloodstone villains in the valley, Panorama and all that. Cause like I said, we haven't, got the sack, and they trying to make it happen. But I'm not gonna lie, I've been in the valley my whole life, bro. I didn't move from nowhere else. I didn't move from another state. I didn't move from LA or nothing. All I know is the valley. So since elementary, all I went to was valley schools, whether it was in Pacoima or, Fillmore, Panorama City. All I know is valley schools, bro.
Okay.
That's all I know. The only blood thing that I know that was established before, is gonna be the homies, the 2Ps.
Okay.
You feel me? I don't know nothing else. Or they say it was Valley Swans. You feel me? But that was way before my time. You feel me? Because by the time I jumped out the porch, it was no more Valley Swans.
All right, bet.
You feel me? If anybody feel anything different, man, let Wiggins know in the comments.
Nah, yeah. Oh, he did mention that you guys got into it with 2Ps.
I'm one of the people that been around for a lot of things. You feel me? So when I went away for that, I did that decade, and we ain't had no incidents with no 2Ps. Of course, it been fallout. You feel me? You fall out with your family, so you're gonna fall out with some dudes in the street. You feel me? But it ain't never turned into nothing.
For sure. Nah, I feel it, man. Well, all right, bad news, man. I appreciate you, clarifying, man, giving us that history, man. They ain't got no choice but to respect this one, man, So, yeah, good looking, man.
And for sure. And shout out all my Valley Bloods. My Pacoima Parus, my Hillside E-Dubs, my Packtown E-Dubs, you already know. Valley Bloods, A1A.
For sure, that's what it do, man. S.WigginsTV. You got it.
LS, all blocks. Ain't no separation.
That's what it is. Yeah.